Okay, well, I will just take a very quick beginning at a very complicated question here, which you could write whole dissertations about this question. But I think a genre approach suggests for the teacher or the curriculum designer an approach to designing a curriculum. So I'm not going to specify what the genres are, but try to suggest a way that that decision could be made and informed by genre theory. And I would want to consider what genres the student already knows, is familiar with, is surrounded with, make that student aware of the the social typifications in his or her world as he or she knows it. And then consider what curricular tasks or what learning goals one has for the student in that particular grade or in that particular class, and see how you can use the student's current knowledge to scaffold them into the practical knowledge and communicative effectiveness that you are seeking to help the student achieve at that next level. So it's a matter of thinking of what genres would engage the student's proximal zone of development, I guess, in doing the task that is just beyond him or her at this particular stage here and now that will take them to the next stage.
It's an excellent answer, and I would just point out that, let's see, one aspect of it, that another way to think about that is what roles and activities are the students prepared to take on at any moment, both given their knowledge and their dispositions at that time. One direction would be to take that further and make them more skilled in those directions, but another is also if they have desires to go somewhere else, or you as adults have desires for them to go to a different place, to bring them to that place, but along a path that they can understand and along a path which they can go, rather than teaching things that are distant and foreign in terms of genre with some hope that maybe they'll understand it. Now, at the same time, if you have people acting a part, they will come to fulfill, under the right conditions, come to fulfill the part. But it still has to be a part that potentially can make sense to them and can fit into the meaning and values of their life. So sometimes you can introduce things that are a little bit distant in perhaps a play way, but then does bring the student to a new place which is meaningful. Again, the zone of proximal development is a very important way of thinking about this, both in terms of whether this is something imaginable for the students, it's proximal enough, and also in terms of what kind of scaffolding is needed to help the student get there, and what kind of collaboration with the more skilled user, the teacher, in order to help the student imagine themselves into this new place.
And this is why this kind of teaching is ultimately, it asks the student to be creative, imaginative, empathetic. It should not be rote by any means, but it should engage the student's active, as you said, active imagination in being a somewhat different kind of person in engaging in that different action.
It also asks the teacher to be empathetic, imaginative, engaged with the student, and eliciting from the student and then working with that. And this is true. I've taught first grade and third grade as well as graduate and postgraduate students. And this basically is the same strategy. Now, the worlds that the students are working from and their imagination of the worlds they are going to, or just want to live that day are different, and they bear different relationships to what we might call sophistication of knowledge. But there's still people who are going from what is meaningful to them at this point to extending their possibilities of meaning in new situations. So the underlying strategy really is the same, but it's understanding who the students are, where they're going, where you want them to go, what their motivations are to get them there, and what kind of interactions you can set up in order to make that journey possible.